What's up, y'all? It's your boy JTMM, aka Just 10 More Minutes, aka the Freaking 10. Back again with another one from Alter Bridge off of Fortress. This one is Cry a River. You know, the past songs I've listened to from them have just been absolutely phenomenal. Their lyrics are great. Their vocals are great. Their harmonies, I mean, there's nothing again. And I love when y'all give me bands like this because it's not just about discovering a new band. It's a new story, right? It's the stories that they tell in their songs. And as a lyricist, that's what fascinates me. You know, and for those that are Warning fans, you've seen it, just hearing words in some of their songs, I was then able to create 3 songs off of that inspiration. And so these guys, you know, I always look for little clues. And when I hear the song or the title, Cry a River, man, so many different pathways that this could take. That's the beauty to me of music. It's not necessarily about the melodies and the actual music. And but again, for a lot of people it is, right? If you're a guitarist, you want to hear what chord progression is. If you're a drummer, you want to hear the beat. You know, if you're a bassist, you want to hear the bass line. For me as a lyricist, a vocalist, not a great vocalist, or else I'd be doing that for a living. But as a songwriter and a lyricist, the stories, right? All of the other stuff are like a bonus on how they then tell the story that they want and how they emphasize certain parts. So that's what I look for. So if you're new to the channel, that's me, Lyricist. Let's get to this. I'm ready to hear it. Okay. This is different. There's his harmonies. Okay, this is completely different than what I've heard from him. I was not expecting this. This has a little bit of a harder tone to it, but I still like it. Interesting way they used the Cry a River, right? Turn off the lights, just close your eyes and tell me what you see. I bet it doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with me. There's nothing left to say. I finally know the truth about you. Right, so you get a little bit of a rhyme with the C and me. You covered all, you played it well, I was the last to know. My premonition was the only thing that let it show. I gave you everything, but I could never pacify you. Okay, so instantly from a story perspective, this really sounds like lovers that are sitting there and it's like, you know, I bet what you're thinking about is not me. That, you know, and you played it well. I was the last to know. My premonition was the only thing that let it show. I gave you everything, but I could never pacify you. I could never get you to want more from me. And this, again, just my interpretation. So go on and cry me a river. Don't say this will haunt you forever. It never did. It never will. It really sounds like somebody, you know, I don't know if it's the breakup or the pre-breakup, you know, conversation or argument, because it's like, don't cry to me about this because you never cared, right? As it says, so go on and cry me a river. Don't say this will haunt you forever. It never did. It never will. You know, yes, you can start complaining now and whining about it now and say this and that, but I know deep down this never bothered you and it never will. Again, just my interpretation. I like the difference on this one. This is a lot harder than the other songs I heard, both from from like a more of a metal sound and speed and tempo wise than the other 2 or 3 I've heard. Let's keep going. nice sound. I like those chord changes. Okay, so I'm going to rewind it a little bit. There's some very interesting chord progressions. And I say I'm a lyricist and the other stuff, but I've released, now almost 600 videos. I kind of get a feel for the music side of things, right? I can't go and say that's a G or that's an E or that's a D or that's an open. I'm taking classes on it, so maybe eventually I will. But I do understand chord progressions, and so that is a very interesting mix. I don't know that that would have been easy to write to from a vocal or lyric. Now, he may have already had the lyrics. I don't know. Because it's very interesting on how the two go together. They match perfectly. So I don't know which came first in this sense. Because my gut feeling says that the music was there. Because I can't picture him having those lyrics and them coming up with that chord progression. I don't know, they may have. These guys are brilliant. I mean, obviously, I have a completely different corporate job than these guys do, and so they've made it in the music industry. I haven't. But that's just a gut feeling. It's very, very different from a chord progression than what I've heard. In a very good way. I like things that are different and challenge, certain theories. So to hear this, I really, really like it. From a lyric perspective, tear it away. I want to see what you really are. And rip that veil, and rip the veil that hides that wretched stone you call a heart. This is my agony, but I'll be damned to stay beside you. So again, show me the real you. All right. It goes back to that premonition of was the only thing that told me that, you weren't a good person. I don't see this being about any relationship. This truly sounds like it's, two lovers, right? And it does sound like a breakup. And then, again, hides that wretched stone you call a heart. You're just heartless, right? I was never enough for you. It's the same thing we hear all the time. And it's so damn unfortunate. So go on and cry me a river. Don't say this will haunt you forever. It never did, never will. Vows are not meant to be broken. You never cared for a moment. You never did, you never will. Oh, okay. So maybe husband, wife. Now I know the truth about you. All you need, I will deny you. I'll be damned to stay beside you. Very interesting song. I go back to that music, and that's just a fascinating chord progression. Let's keep going. I rewinded it a little bit. So go on and cry me a river. Don't say this will haunt you forever. It never did. It never will. All that you see is devour. Great solo. Oh, that was a cool little ending with the up. Okay. Yeah, so they just went in and repeated the chorus. I'd love to see a musical video to this to understand where they were thinking on it, right? If this is truly about a breakup or if I totally missed the boat. But yeah, that's the only path I can truly think of. But I think, when I thought Fortress was about something, it turned out to be about, more than just kind of a breakup. It was about, really any relationship, I think, is the comment that was made. This one seems a little bit more direct with that. With the things of, don't say this will haunt you forever. It never did. It never will. All that you see, you devour, right? So you just take more and more and more and more, but you don't care. It's a good song. Again, that music was interesting. He had to have come up with that music first. And then he met that with the lyrics. It would shock me if it was the other way around, but some of these guys are just so gifted musically that you hand them lyrics and they've got, a chord progression they've wanted to try and they see if it fits and then they work together. My brother and I did that quite a bit when we wrote together. Because he would just come up and we'd do it both ways, right? I'd have lyrics, I'd give them to him. We'd have to do it by email or just pen and paper because email was just kind of coming to be in this time. Yeah, that was good. I really like that. Let me switch it up. This is another band that fascinates me, much in the same sense of, the way Nightwish and Battle Beast and Ginger and Sabaton and all these other bands fascinate me because they don't sound anything like anybody else, right? You take some other bands out there, and when I mentioned Ginger and Sabaton and those guys, I'm not lumping these guys in or these with them, but there's so many bands that you could go out there and listen to, right? And in today's age, where now this was from 2013, so not as prevalent as it is today, but today you hear a lot of music and some of it sounds the same in the mainstream, right? And sometimes it doesn't necessarily set itself apart. This sets itself apart. That of some very interesting music. I really like this one. Really liked it. Now, this one's off Fortress. So, let me know the next one I should do if there's one that's recent. If there's another older one off of Fortress, I have a whole list of them. But really, I want to kind of see what the consensus is of when to follow this. I saw this title and I wanted to check it out. So definitely know on the next one. With that being said, y'all know what to do. If you like the video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you like the content you're seeing with almost 20 videos a week, hit that subscribe button. Content goes out consistently. It may differ, on some days where, recording goes a little bit longer in the morning, but that content is out consistently every day. So hopefully that earns a subscribe. Always remember that's free. Just lets me know as a content creator that I'm putting out stuff that you like to see. And our community is growing. The comment section, with the amount of people responding and having conversations, it's absolutely amazing. That's what I wanted, a bond over music, no matter all of those societal boxes that they try to put us in every day. Ours is music. Music lovers. All that other shit doesn't matter. Race, religion, political side, orientation, all that shit doesn't matter. We're lovers and admirers of music. We're bonding over that. Let that be the core. We can build from there, right? Music is at its key. That's it for me. Y'all know who I am, what I'm about. I'm JTMM. I'm out.